Hello everyone and welcome back to Perfumer Reviews. Today we are doing our first ever request. Needless to say, I am actually really happy with this particular request because this fragrance was an absolute joy to review. Now, my voice is not in the best shape, but we're gonna push through. Anyway, the fragrance that we are going to be reviewing today is a Kiss of Bliss from Penhaligons. Now, this particular fragrance is pretty cool. First of all, let's talk fragrance notes so you can get a little bit of an idea of what you're smelling if you haven't tried this before. Now, I have taken these fragrance notes off Libertine, which is a store in Australia that sells Penhaligons, but it's basically given 3 notes for top, middle, and base. Top, it's saying it's bergamot, clover, and rose. The heart is jasmine, heliotrope, and matcha tea. And the base notes are moss, musk, and patchouli. So based off that, you would look to expect something pretty powdery, but also like floral and a little bit musky as well. So let's talk scent journey. Now for me, this is a very linear fragrance. The initial opening is like the tiniest bit like woody and spicy, maybe with a little bit of like, I don't know, like, I can't quite describe it. Maybe it's like similar to like an iris paperness, but very quickly it settles into this like warm, powdery, sweet musk. And that continues on for this fragrance. It stays very consistent. For me, the overwhelming part that I feel from this fragrance are the heliotrope and matcha tea notes. I get like a greenish, powdery, floral scent, but it is still just that little bit sweet as well. To my nose, it feels like if you got like te matcha from Le Labo and then made it a bit powdery. And honestly, that's how it stays pretty much for the whole scent journey. And the length of which I was pretty happy with. I could still smell this on me after like a whole day at work, which I work pretty long days, so that's honestly a win in my book. Looking at the scent notes, I don't particularly get a lot of like the jasmine. I don't really get much rose. And I only really got the moss after I like sprayed it on my hand and then I'd washed my hand afterwards and it left just like the slightest hint of Veramos there. Projection wise, it sits just a little bit closer to the skin. It's not as like radiant as other fragrances are. It is very soft, and while it can still leave a little bit of a scent trail, I feel like this one is a little bit more of a personal wear. And look, no judgment on how you wear your fragrance, but if you are someone that really likes to get attention with your fragrances, this may not be the best one to go with. So what defines this fragrance? Now, a lot of people would say that the defining facet of this fragrance is powder and musk. However, for me personally, I would say it's the matcha tea note. That is the thing that I get the most from this fragrance. To me, it is the most prominent component. But I actually find it pretty hard to define this fragrance. While it is a bit simple, it's actually hard to put your finger on particular components or, you know, particular facets of the fragrance. It just smells really cohesive. It feels like it's its own scent rather than trying to like recreate a few different components and put them together. I would say, if anything, this fragrance is probably more of a feeling than it is a scent. And don't get me wrong, it has a beautiful scent, like, and it's really a distinctive scent as well. But I don't know, it just makes me feel like happy and light. And honestly, it's a little bit whimsical as well. I can tell you about all the different scent qualities in this thing, but it's light, it's sweet, and it's airy. And as I said, I think this fragrance is just much more of a feeling rather than a scent profile. All right, now let's go to my general thoughts. Wow. Reviewing this fragrance was the first time I'd actually smelt it. I'm borrowing this bottle off a friend of mine, and I was genuinely in shock. This thing is beautiful, like genuinely beautiful. And it's not something I feel like I would normally gravitate towards, but it's just kind of drawn me in a way that honestly I can't really understand. It did also get my girlfriend's stamp of approval as well. Its scent profile is really consistent and really simple, but it's also quite unique and it's pretty hard to define it as well. If I had to sum it up in like a few words, I would call it like powder, musk, sweet, slightly floral, and like matcha. If I had to go like 5 things. From a perfumery perspective, it is a little bit challenging to kind of like nail down on the raw materials that they're using for this fragrance. Based on the scent profile, I would have to hazard a guess that they are using pretty heavy dosage heliotropin, which would likely be a replacer because natural heliotropin is very heavily restricted, and also ethylene brassylate, which is a really clean, almost laundry-like musk. Now let's go to cons. I can't really think of much to say bad about this fragrance. If I had to pick anything, and this is really reaching here, like really reaching, I would say it's just a little bit on the simple side. It doesn't have a whole lot going on. What is going on is beautiful, but damn, that's really me scraping the bottom of the barrel to find some kind of downside to this fragrance. It's not my absolute favorite scent profile of all time, but there really is a lot to love in this thing. So my advice is that it is absolutely worth a try. I think this could appeal to a lot of different tastes. Like if I think back to my Jazz Club, even my Baccarat Rouge reviews, I think you need to have like a fairly specific taste to enjoy those fragrances. I think with this will appeal to a lot of different people. People that like freshies, people that like sweets, people that like powders and musks. And like personally for me, I would say I'm a amber and gourmand guy. That's my preference. But something just really drew me into this. If you can appreciate a sweet fragrance, I would probably like to bet you're gonna like this. And what I really love about it, it can be used anywhere on any occasion at any time of the year. Ultimate versatility. If you are set on this and don't mind forking out, because I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty expensive, I think the 100ml is a good buy because this can definitely be an everyday wear. I think it is appropriate for any kind of setting. So now we go to the all important scoring. For its scent profile, I've gone a 7 out of 10 for the opening and a 9 out of 10 for its dry down. Onto performance, longevity, I've gone a 9 out of 10, and its projection and sillage, I've gone a 7 out of 10. I don't particularly mind that this one sits a little bit closer. And in the others category, for its value for money, I've gone 3 out of 5. It is a little bit expensive, but I do think you are getting a great fragrance out of it. And then versatility, I've gone 5 out of 5. This literally can be used anywhere. So that brings the total to 40 out of 50 available points, which if we look at our rolling leaderboard, this being our third ever review, this one will be sitting in first place. Thank you so much for the person that recommended me to try this. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I remember looking it up and I was seeing the notes and I was like, oh yeah, that looks like it'll be pretty good. I just wasn't sure how it would come across, but damn. This thing is really good. I love it. I love it. Anyway, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you have tried Kiss of Bliss, let me know what you think. And if you have a fragrance that you would like to see, leave a comment, tell me what to review. I will hunt it down. I will find it. Whether it's a full bottle like this or even just a little sample, I will find it. Now we're gonna go into the Matcha Wars because coming soon, probably not next, but soon, will be Tear Matcha 26 from Le Labo. How do you reckon it's gonna compare to this? Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you guys next time.